Welcome back, everyone. It is episode 19, January 18th of Beast and Boys Sports Talk with Marcus and Silas. We have super Wildcard weekend recap. So much great games, and let's start off with Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. What was the final score? Because
it was Rams 34, Cardinals 11. So, I mean, the big stories just have to be that. I mean, the Cardinals. Did you see that the double pass play that they did in the first quarter?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, blanking on who it announces, but the announcer said, like, if you're busting that out in the first quarter,
they're already deep in the playbook. I felt
you're already deep in the playbook, begging for a first down.
I guess this is just how I think of things. Like, what was it, like, end of the first or, like, start of the second? After this horrible, I guess it was kind of a smart play of Kyler Murray throwing the ball in the end zone.
What was smart about the underhand throw?
It's just like, it's just like, dude, take 2 points, but then all of a sudden, Rams can go march down the field.
Yeah, but like obviously he didn't mean to do it.
No,
so I think
like,
if he logically thought that out and decided it, like, oh sure, you're so smart, Kyler. But in my eyes, I'm just like, this dude's an idiot.
It was only like at least the start of the second quarter, and watching the entire team, they look like they're done already. They look like they're so done.
In the middle of the third quarter, and I know that like 34-11 isn't close, but like. We're talking about. We've been saying for weeks that the Cardinals and Cowboys are frauds, and we'll get on that later. But it was like they gave up. They were panning people's faces, and Kyler's body language, and
it just felt like they didn't care anymore. Like they just like gave like.
It was fair to say.
Well, we're down by 21. 21 sounds like a big number, but
down 21. Yeah. If they can score 21 straight, you can score 21. Yeah, it's like, this is the NFL.
It goes straight. All right, after like. So you get the ball back, you go score, then you get into halftime. Yeah. You get the ball back, and then if you score again, it's 14-21.
Yeah.
It's just like
the Rams actually started with the ball in the second half, which is a big downside because ideally, like you score to start the half and it's 7-21. It's a game.
Yeah. But like
going into halftime, I obviously would love to like sit in on what Cliff Kingsbury had to say, but I was like, wow, this team gave up. Like
with no DeAndre Hopkins, they're 8-2. With him, and then there's complete.
Do we know if he tore
his MCL? I heard him say that on the newscast. Like, when did that happen? I knew he was injured, but I was like, torn MCL.
I thought it was like a.
I know. I thought it was like a hamstring or quad. I was like,
then it was like he's.
Why did I never get any reports on that?
Yeah, no. Well, I guess I always thought it was like one of those like Derrick Henry, where it's like, hey, you could be back, but we're waiting, but like.
They said, they'll be back playoff.
I guess that's...
And they thought they were going to have the number one seed, probably. But, Odell Beckham, I don't know how we haven't... He looks like he's just... It's so perfect for him.
Yeah.
He was cooking.
It's a perfect fit. Yeah. Like, he's a different player in a LA jersey.
I feel like all Cleveland fans were just crying today.
Yeah.
They were just like...
Vance Joseph, the Cardinals' defensive coordinator, I was just like sitting there. I was like, this dude game planned around Cooper Kupp. Like Odell Beckham Jr. isn't on the other side. Like the entire game was...
And he's had 6 straight touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Catches. Which is insane. And
it's funny though, man, because at the end of the day, Cooper Kupp led the team in receiving. Even though, I think at halftime, he had one catch for 5 yards.
That last drive, they're like, all right, we're going to feed
Cooper. Honestly, it was just like a little emotion. Matt Stafford, though, just to go over stats, I don't know if everyone caught it, but Matthew Stafford, 13 for 17.
Yeah.
I repeat, 13 for 17. He passed the ball only 17 times. He had 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, no picks.
And rushed for a touchdown.
And rushed for a touchdown.
That's scary when, you think of him as a high-power offense, like pass the air raid was no, they use the ground game.
Well, the ground game, they started the drive with that big run, and then Sony Michel and Cam Akers both had above 50 yards, 58.
Cam Akers looks amazing.
Yeah,
dude,
he was killing Buda Baker. Yeah, it upset me, but
the killing wasn't. It's just like the taunting.
It was the taunting after.
Well, I was like, okay, dude.
In the moment, I think it's fair to say his intention was not to lower his head off the dude unconscious. It was to fall forward, but. It was the taunting after someone's down.
Yeah, and dude, you just came back from
the only reason I think after hitting someone super hard is foul taunt is if they're popping back up. If they're still down, it's a bad look. And T's and B's to him, but it sounds like he's conscious, moving, everything's okay. It's just a severe concussion, which scary. But the good thing is there's no games that they're not good. But the news is there's no off season, or there is the off season for him to come back. So
Cam Akers led the team in carries, 17.
Hot take though, this is the worst game of the weekend. I was the most excited for this. I even think the Bills game was more fun.
Yeah, it was just like the first quarter, like by like halftime, I was like,
I texted you after Kyler threw that pick 6 to make it 4.
Yeah, I was like, this is hard.
I was like, this game's over, dude. Like, I have no faith in the Cardinals and no faith that they could come back.
My whole conspiracy on Cliff Kingsbury leaving, I don't think he's gonna leave.
I don't think it does.
I don't think there's a job at all.
I don't think there's a job at all. I also think I don't think it helps Kyler Murray if he leaves.
No.
Which I think has to be the top thought is like, hey, we have this young dude who's still on his rookie contract.
Yeah, this is his first ever playoffs.
First playoff game,
so it's like, I mean, it's just such a different atmosphere. Usually not a whole lot of, like...
For sure.
Like, first debuters for playoffs,
yeah.
Usually they don't, like, go ball out, but...
Yeah, well,
it was just rough seeing him. And, there's been, 2 games, in the past, 3 weeks where he just hucks the ball from the end zone. And it's, a pick.
Yeah.
I think that during the Ram game.
Yep. There's something sloppy about his play, though, recently that I just... it's not even that I can't wrap my head around it. I just, it needs to be taken out of his game. You're not a rookie. You're not even a second-year guy. This is year 3, right?
Yeah. 3 or 4, yeah, something.
Yeah. And, I don't know, having those 2 picks is, it was disappointing for sure. And, yeah, I don't know. They rushed the ball terribly, too, which is what they typically do well. Yeah. When they get in this hole of passing, normally when the rushing game starts to click, and Kyler had 6 rushing yards.
Yeah, usually that never happens.
And let alone I think you could show someone that Kyler had 6 rushing yards and 2 picks, and you could show me no other stats, and I would tell you won that game.
His before this loss, his worst loss ever in his entire football career was 2019 Week 13, lost by 17 against the Rams.
Because he's still on he went to Allen High School, and Allen, and
he's just a winner.
And north of Dallas up there in Allen, and he won 4 straight or 3 straight as a starter. He didn't start his freshman year. So the dude doesn't lose.
Yeah, and he doesn't usually lose bad because he's just competitive nature. Yeah. And I will never question his competitiveness.
No, and
it's just it was just so.
And I really think he tried his best.
Yeah, it was just very concerning on how the energy of the entire team depleted after that.
Yeah, and dude, I think once he did once he threw that underhand pick, it was just to me it was that's what you see a quarterback in their first game, not their first playoff game. In order to make it to the playoffs, you would think the little major mistakes like that would be out of the way.
Yeah, that's got to be one. Honestly, that's got to be top 5 worst interceptions I've seen.
My dad jokes that
that's bad.
He saw the Mahomes underhand throw to number 1. I forget his name, but
Jerry McKinnon.
To Jerry McKinnon. That dude's a stud. That underhand throw to him, and he was he saw that and was I'm going to throw it underhand into the ground. But it quite honestly was I understand that the dude for whatever reason tackled him really weird. He didn't wrap up. So Kyler literally after he got touched. But I was dude, your reaction was to underhand throw the ball in the direction of 2 guys who neither one of them were open. Yeah, it was quite honestly pretty silly.
Yeah. And then also Von Miller, he's gelling into that team so well. He making sacks, tackling for loss. I felt he was all over the field.
And him and Aaron Donald is scary. And then think about that. Him and Aaron Donald playing D tackle and defensive end and can run stunt blitzes. Aaron Donald is fast enough to run stunt blitzes where they're switching spots, and it's amazing. And
then you got the best cornerback.
Yeah, you get the best cornerback, and
that team. They play Bucks?
Yeah.
That's
a game and a half because it's the best.
They beat them. They had their little mini Super Bowl Week 3.
I think though that game comes down. We'll talk about that later. I think that's the Matthew Stafford game because that defense is going to show up. The Bucks offense is going to show up, and the Bucks defense is going to show up.
Yeah, it's just we'll get into.
Yeah, but that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I mean enough of this game.
It's just Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday games. Raiders 19, Bengals 26. Bengals send that text. Send that text.
31 years.
31 years broke the longest drought in sports history of not
winning a playoff.
Yeah, winning a playoff game. Insane. Gosh, I don't know. There's just so many.
Yeah,
like Joe Burrow.
Let's start with the whole refereeing incident.
Okay. That was a lot. 14 total penalties that game. That was rough. And like me and Marcus, after coming off of all of Red Zone, and then we're watching the first game, we're like, dude, there's way too many commercials.
We were 3.5 hours in, and there's 6 minutes left.
Yeah, it was brutal.
It was brutal. Like the second game, we were pausing and doing some homework so we could come back
just
and
like fast
skip.
forward.
Yeah, like
there's no point. Like I don't want to watch.
But between penalties and reviews and booth reviews and pausing to look at a catch that wasn't even a real review, it's like it's like the baseball thing where it's like baseball did everything they can to not make a game 3.5 hours. The NFL has to try to like take out a commercial break or two, or like have the people up in the booth be a touch quicker about making big decisions.
Like, that's what they've already been doing. Like they just implemented that this year, where it's like a quick review, just from the top.
From the top, where it doesn't need to be like a challenge. It doesn't need to be like No, I'm saying I agree with that. I think
still,
it's awesome,
like,
but if it's slow,
such a problem.
If it's slow, we can't have that. Like
no, and fuck.
So
Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's break down the whole. Yeah.
Back on the officials that blowing the whistle. The whistle. Oof.
So to paint a picture, I'm sure some of you might not know, some of you don't. But Joe Burrow's rolling out to the right side. He's rolling out right-handed quarterback, so if his body is facing the sidelines, he takes one more step and kind of floats out of bounds. But his last step was 5 or 6 inches in bounds, actually.
Yeah,
and his foot touched the ground like damn near when the dude caught the touchdown. And the referees blew a whistle, and the ball's floating in the air though. And when the whistle was blown, the ball was, I would say, 3/4 of the way in the air.
Yeah.
So to me, you can see the cornerbacks let up, but to me, I think it's unexcusable to let up. Like I think it's the playoffs, and I think that you're not getting a excessive anything. They're not penalizing anything if you run over there and bat that ball, or you run over there and deck him. Like they're not. So it really is on that Raiders cornerbacks.
Because I mean, it's playoffs. I mean, and I don't remember the last time the Raiders won a playoff game.
Yeah, it's been some time.
So it's just. I'm just so confused. It's just like you don't give up plays in the playoffs. You just don't. Like you go 100% every single play because it's win or go home now. It's completely like elimination. So even after whistle, it's just like you obviously don't want to like cause a penalty or something.
Just real quick, there's some weird tie I feel like that the Raiders and the Cowboys got between criminal football players, flags, terrible fan bases. I mean, like. They are the two probably easily most hateable teams in the NFL. But, I mean, I've seen some Raiders fans be like, this is ridiculous. Like, we should get a game was a one-score game. But my thing is, like, if the whistle was blown, dude, when the ball even was a third in like, if it had just left Burrow's hand, I think that you have to redo that play.
Yeah.
But it's very, very different when you can listen to it over and over and over, and you're seeing basically who was he calling? It was Boyd?
Boyd.
Yeah, so Boyd jumps up in the air, and basically he jumps up in the air, the whistle's called, he comes down with the ball, and he's looking around like, I watched my quarterback throw that, it wasn't out of bounds, and then after way too long of looking at it, I mean, I was like, what are they going to do? Come and say, sorry, the play's dead when the ball was 3/4? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just like, it's just so bad on the ref, just like, how, like, thinking he's out of bounds at first. It's like, dude.
I think that me and you even said, or I even said, was it in the stands?
Yeah.
I was like, who blew the whistle? Like, was it in the stands?
It was ridiculous.
Man, my only example would be, it would be as if a ref on like a kickoff return, picture dude's running up the left side, a ref right on here thinks he stepped out but isn't quite sure and calls the play dead and doesn't let him finish the 20 yards. That's honestly what was on.
Yeah, it just, I feel like reffing right now is just very confusing time.
Yeah.
It's a very confusing year. I don't think. Also, then they like punished that whole group and saying you're not allowed to.
It was a pretty terrible officiating.
Yeah, it was rough.
Like it's fair to say that was not the only reason at all.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just I feel like all of the refs are just so confused on what's what. And
we talk about like straight across the board, it has to be called the same.
It's frustrating. Probably teams are now like figure out who's officials ahead of time. Like, all right, they're watching film more on the refs.
You know,
than
NBA
the actual
does that
team.
like consistently. Like NBA gets.
Oh, Kobe Bryant.
Yes,
Kobe Bryant. Yeah,
yeah.
He literally read the rule book and blind spots where the refs weren't, so he could draw fouls.
Yeah, like GOAT.
That
mad
mindset is
respect.
insane.
Like, that mindset is insane to do that. But, like, there's NBA teams, and I don't know if it's every team, but that get briefings before games. Like, they'll, like, come in and sit down the team and be like, hey, like, I don't even know, don't know any, like, NBA refs, so they go, hey, ref 1 likes to call a lot of, like, reach-ins and a lot of shooting fouls. 2 really only calls hard body ones. 3 doesn't call a lot of offensive charges, but he likes calling defense. It quite honestly, but it's way, the NFL is different than the NBA, though, because it's like, NBA is like, oh, did you hit my hand? Are you going to call it? NFL is like, are you going to change this game by calling a terrible holding, or are you not? So it's
rough
to see. And then Raiders also fired their GM today.
Yeah,
the interim head coach is still the interim coach, and then they are
still
interviewing new people.
Yeah, interviewing.
I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, Rich Bisicchio. He also after the game he handwritten a letter every single player.
I think that's really really cool. Like
I did love this team. Raiders can't be too upset because we didn't really think they're gonna make the playoffs, and it's been an incredible story.
They said it on the broadcast.
So much adversity.
The team that's faced the most adversity in the regular season in the history of the NFL made the playoffs. Like, it's a pretty gnarly story to even think about. Literally everything they overcame. Not only coaching, but like losing. Like, and Henry Ruggs is a terrible person, but like your second best player, your deep threat, you're probably your best receiver, not probably your best receiver.
Yeah,
and then you lose a starting corner, and I mean it's like we're not talking about like a practice squad guy that went out and committed a crime at all.
It's just like how many more years do you think the Raiders are gonna stay in Vegas? Because I feel like if this is just the beginning, like if there's more stuff next year, there's gonna start going into playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean they just spent.
Mark
Davis spent $4 billion.
Yeah,
out of his own, like majority of it out of his own money.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's all of a sudden starts becoming like talks because it's just like it's.
I don't know the worst part though. I don't believe they've had any troubles with their hockey team.
Really? Oh.
I don't. I mean, don't quote me. I'm not the biggest hockey fan.
Yeah, me neither.
Kraken just exists this year. We're the worst team in all of hockey. So it's kind of we are, which is frustrating because when Vegas became an expansion team, they lost in the Stanley Cup Finals year 1.
I know. I remember hearing about
like, "F this, we can't allow this to happen." And then Seattle got the number 2 pick and did good, but terrible draft. But I'm just saying, I don't know any stories about that. And if Seattle ever gets a basketball team, it'll be Seattle and Vegas. They get a basketball team, 1 East, 1 West, throw them in a conference. So I don't think it's fair to say they're going to leave, mainly because of the money that's being able to be made in Vegas.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if there's more stories...
It'll be a topic, for sure.
Definitely.
It won't be like, oh, should we go back to Oakland and pick up this $4 billion stadium and drive it on some semis?
No.
Like, I've been inside it. That thing is better than AT&T, and the only thing that competes with it is SoFi. Like, I really think that's fair to say. SoFi is the only stadium, and we'll go there one day.
Yeah. I mean, Jamar Chase. Dude, rookie debut, 12 targets, 9 receptions, 116. It felt like every other play was just, okay, let's just throw it to Jamar Chase.
Let's not forget about 3 carries.
Yeah,
he plays receiver. I don't believe outside of jet sweeps, which is when a receiver comes out from the slot and runs across. These were... tosses. I saw the verbiage for it later, but it was wide receiver tosses later. So he's motioning across, and then... they're hiking it. So Mixon is off to the right side in this really weird, like it looks like he's going to come back and do like a misdirection. Yeah. But Mixon just turns into the lead blocker, and now you have your receiver at full speed, basically with linebackers and DNs to beat.
And like they just finally, I feel like they just brought this up finally. They're like, oh yeah, hey, we know a guy who can like run the ball.
The first time they did it was 4th and 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think that they've been sitting on that play since week 1, and when they saw how good this team was, and when they knew they were going to make the playoffs, there was no reason to bust it out. Yeah. Because but now, I mean, I wonder if we see them next week try it, because it worked very, very efficiently.
Maybe like implement. I mean,
what about
the Versa Titans?
Yeah. So what about picture that same play? So Jamar's coming across and pitching. Joe Mixon goes up like this as his lead blocker. Picture toss fake and then a handoff to Mixon misdirection. Because the Titans are going to be watching film and being like, okay, 2nd and short, 3rd and short, and 4th and short. If he's in motion, linebackers, your eyes have to be on the pitch. Like, you have to contain him. You can't let him get to the second goal because he'll cook your safety and score. But you're right, though. Then you throw in like I mean, dude, you could pass out of that.
Yeah.
Burrow could pass and then just... it's
like
so
a fake toss.
It was such a cool play. Like, all props to that entire... the whole Bengals coaching
Yeah,
staff.
just great game in general. So fun. Just came down to the very last play. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted.
That's how we started the playoffs.
Yes.
Was me and you standing up like hands on our heads.
Yeah, we're like, this is awesome. This is
cool.
what we live for. And then let's go on to the one that was complete opposite of fun. New England.
It was fun for me. I hate the Patriots so much.
I'm happy that they're taking a little dive down.
I think little is an understatement.
Yeah.
I think that they go at 8-9 next year. But yeah,
New England 17, Buffalo 47. Dude, it didn't even feel like a playoff game.
Should I start with the quote we were saying?
Yeah.
So the Buffalo Bills just had the NFL's first ever perfect offensive game. No punts, no picks, no fumbles lost, no field goals. Touchdown on all drives. Yes, all drives 7 for 7 until they had to kneel the ball out in victory formation. Dude, you know how Bill Belichick cried his eyes out that night? Like,
Yeah.
7 times, dude. Like
that's ridiculous.
It's never happened.
They've had such a great defense all year, and they're just just got decimated.
I was watching this gnarly film thing about deep crossers and the Patriots man, and how like it's their complete man beater.
Dude.
Is these deep crossers, and just like how Buffalo threw plays onto the deep crossers so they think they know what they're doing. I mean, it's like Bill Belichick got outsmarted. I don't think there's any way to say it.
No.
He got completely outsmarted.
Dude, yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams, completely outsmarted. Which to me is like probably one of the coolest stories of the season.
Yeah, Gregory Russo, the D lineman. I don't know if I think he might be a second year or he might be a rookie. The dude is ridiculous. I swear to God. Like, he just goes everywhere. He's insane. And Josh Allen, dude. 4 incompletions, 21 for 25, 308 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
He had more touchdowns than he did incompletions.
Yeah, that is ridiculous hearing that.
And like it wasn't like he had, what I mean? It wasn't like 12 for 12, or 14.
And then Devin Singletary with 16 carries, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And Josh Allen with 66 rush yards too.
How?
I mean, the dude had 360 or 375 rushing total yards by himself.
I don't want to get vulgar, but like, how Buffalo's back is they start throwing the dildos.
Yeah, no, it's
after
so
the Kendrick
funny.
Bourne
And it's so funny that the last time that happened was the Patriots game too. So it's quite funny. Those Buffalo's got that's something I love.
Funny.
It's actually New York's only football team. So.
Yeah, New York
State's only football team. I'd love to go up there, Buffalo.
That's on my bucket
jump on a
list.
table.
I
and
need
seriously.
that.
Like adult me has to go up there and hang out with some adults and jump off a table and go watch the Bills game when it's freezing cold, when it's 4 degrees.
It's not even a Bills fan. It's just I love the culture.
I love the culture and like the
fandom is so
the
fun.
4 straight Super Bowls lost, and I mean there's so many stories in between.
I watched Josh Allen at he came up to Boise State. I watched the game.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh, that's supposed to be like top 15 pick." And I was like,
Yeah.
"No way!"
Back in his Wyoming
We railed
days.
him though.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, this was just complete and utter. They just destroyed him.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out Eastern alum. Kendrick Bourne led the Patriots with 7 receptions, 77 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Cooper Kupp had a good week.
Yep.
Samson had a good week.
Come on.
It's like
looking good for
put some
Eastern.
respect on our name.
Looking good for
come
Eastern.
on, we can't have guys across the league.
Yeah.
When we were joking in the early window, no school had more touchdowns in the receiver category than
No big deal.
No big deal. Just throwing it out there.
That's just us.
Classic stuff. You'll see it next year too.
Yeah.
Especially with Kendrick because he's young.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, here's the thing. You like. I forgot. I don't know what New England's schedule next year is, but I mean, Mac Jones' second year coming in, he's gonna understand the offense even more. They're gonna have a first round pick.
I see a slump coming, but personally,
Yeah,
I think that
it's just
this
it's
year.
hard to say for Bill Belichick unless you have Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I don't know. I respect Mac Jones. I feel like he's just good in that system.
Yeah.
He's just yeah. I just feel like they still just need that one like bona fide superstar.
They do.
Either like receiver or running back. They just need that guy.
Yeah, they need it. They need a guy. Like
Yeah.
I
feel the whole system is like working.
I mean, the system's in place. The defense, like I mean, outside of it's to me, it's the defensive personnel is in place.
Yeah.
The coaching is what blew this game.
Yeah,
Like,
it just hey, you got a rookie quarterback, and then you got a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Experience is just gonna make him better.
It is.
And it's just like, I don't... Also taking Patriots plus 4.5. Like,
we had a whole discussion before the episode, and I literally was like, dude, I'm not even going to lie, that's your worst take ever, and then...
Well, it's... I mean, everyone in the last, 20 years is like, how do you bet against Belichick? Yeah. But you're betting on Mac Jones, I forgot. You're also betting on...
You're betting on a young guy, and then you're also betting on playoff Josh Allen, dude, who's a different football player. Like, I know you haven't been the biggest Bills supporter.
Yeah, I took cold take. I said they're not built for the weather, and holy hell, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about everything I said.
I'm curious to see how we're gonna have a whole off this show.
This next weekend's gonna be legit.
Yes,
next
episode's gonna be
the rematch.
Yeah. That'll be. I don't even want to talk to Stefan Diggs yet because but super cool.
This just
there's not a whole lot to say other than Mac Jones 2 picks. I mean, if you want to keep your team in a playoff game,
that was just such a great play.
Yeah, one of them was just a great play, but
and then the other one was pretty bad.
Yeah, the other one was just pretty bad, but
no matter what, it's just you can't have those interceptions. Let's get into the Sunday games.
This is debatably worse because I at least enjoyed
this might have been.
This was 31-0, and the Philly scored 2 touchdowns and went for 2 one time, and it was in all trash points.
Philadelphia 15, Tampa Bay 31. I was so genuinely mad about the Eagles. It's just, how do you not use your rookie wide receiver Devontae Smith in the first half? I'm just very curious how you don't do that. They kept trying to. They literally were down by 2 touchdowns, and they still trying to establish the run game. It's like Devin White screaming up in the middle for the tackle for loss. Tackle for loss. Probably not gonna keep change.
Let alone the whole their whole D line. I mean, Vita Vea.
It's ridiculous.
Bear. I mean, it's some Eagles had some big drops. I'm not even gonna lie though.
Big drops.
Goddard had a big one.
But dude, it's just Jalen Hurts looks so bad. I'm sorry, he looks
terrible.
That's just not in big moments you can't have.
It's funny because he finishes the game with 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. But people who didn't watch the game, dude, he had 75 legit yards, and he had 180 complete trash point yards. Complete.
It was just atrocious. The interceptions were bad, missing guys and.
The Bucs.
It just looked like a JV offense. It looks like literally a high school offense.
I mean, the punt fumble. It was sloppy as football can get.
I was like, what? Jalen, man. Amount of times I heard Justin Jefferson, who's not even playing in the year.
I know.
Season's over and they're still talking about him.
Yeah. Move on.
Oh man, dude, I feel so bad for you. Eagles fans are the worst fans, to be honest.
They are.
Jalen Reagor is just... it's so sad for him. Muffed 2 punts.
Yeah.
The one thing I do have about the Bucs, it's a little tingle. I'm like, their injuries are just piling up, dude.
Yeah.
Tristan Wirfs, he might be back, but...
there was that other lineman who didn't...
the center, looked like his back broke, but he came back somehow.
I'm not even gonna lie, when that happened... I love football, and the one thing I hate about football is injuries, which is part of the sport.
Yeah.
But, that made my stomach go. I was like, oh my god, this is a 6'6", 300-pound man who's shaking in pain.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty,
but if they have that beaten up O-line and already a missing wide receiver going up against that crazy D-line of Rams, I'm not going to say anything yet.
Yeah, well, wait, preview for next
I'm biting my tongue. I might sound like a crazy man, but yeah, because that is Tom Brady in the postseason. That might be the greatest person of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a complete game box. I think this is when we start bringing in. We'll probably get back to this in next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The 7th seed. Is this really? Should this actually really be a thing?
I think when we talk Steelers, it's a terrible, man.
This shouldn't be happening.
This year with Cincinnati in the college football playoff showed why the 4th seed is a joke every year. I mean, UW was in it, dude. I love UW. I grew up a UW fan. I couldn't care less about him now because go Eagles. Mm-hmm. But it quite honestly proved to me why an 8 or a 10 or a 16 seed college football playoff does not need to happen at the FBS.
We're back. But yeah, what were you saying about...
about just like how the college football playoff extension is just completely unnecessary, and we see it when Alabama or Georgia kills the 4 seed every year. Yeah. So I don't understand how after you see that you even justify it.
Like I always see, like, it's been every year, like, oh man, like, look at these teams who just missed out on the playoffs, Rams and like Steelers. It's like, well, you know, it's just how good of play are they really? They're 9-8 football team. They're 1 win above 500. Do you really think they should be in the playoffs right now? That is absurd. That is seriously absurd.
It needs to get rid of, like...
And it just goes to show, like, how top-heavy the NFC is, and realistically, the AFC is the powerhouse.
It is. The
AFC is the powerhouse.
For the first time, though, in a minute. Because
they've been aggressive the past, like, I feel like 2 years now. They've been a lot closer, like almost, like Miami was like 10-6 and missed the playoffs last year. It's just, I feel... this is getting ridiculous if, like, every year, like, it's going to be, like, the 7 seed just gets shit on.
Because what it honestly is, like, whoever's the 2 seeds, you basically just get an equivalent. The only reason why I like it is you get the equivalent to a bye, but you have to prove yourself.
Yes.
I think that makes the fun of it.
Try to go out, like clean injury. Like, no injuries.
Which is the sad part, though, is that, like, for the Bucks, for instance, they're going to be 10 times more beat up. When they really just, like, they could play the Eagles 10 times and the Eagles might win one of them, maybe. Just maybe, if they can run for 300 yards. But
I don't know how to... It's just, I don't think the 7th seed should be a real thing. I seriously don't think.
Yeah. I'm not...
There should be a rule change, like they should just...
You think they step in this year and go, hey, this is not working? Because what if next year, though...
I don't think... Because they just implemented the whole, like, next new, like... other game.
Yeah, no, I know, but like, let's say like next year, like for instance, Seahawks start to come back. Kyler and them are playing good. Rams are playing good. Niners and Trey Lance, because Jimmy G's leaving, are playing good.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, I think. But let's just say hypothetically, like the 3 teams are, let's say Rams in the division, Cardinals are like a 3 seed, Niners are like a 5. What if the Seahawks are 9-8? Like I think that is the reason for. I mean, if all 4 teams make it in, it's almost mathematically impossible. But we saw 3 this year.
Yeah.
We saw 3 from the most stacked division, but
it's crazy.
I would not be opposed if they just come out and say, "Hey, we tried, doesn't work."
Yeah.
I hope the NBA is different because I actually like that playing style. I think it's really fun. I think it gives those top 5 teams
but back on the Eagles, like it's like I feel like you can't really get too mad. Like obviously, like just Jalen Hurts' play was very questionable, and just the whole offense was very questionable. But
the play calling was questionable.
You're going in with 3 first-round draft picks.
Yeah,
I don't know how. Like you have to be happy, right? All right, man, we got 3 first-round picks.
3 first rounders. We can fill in those holes and either
linemen,
like get a lineman, a D end, and
they're
a
all
corner.
getting
Like,
old as shit.
Yeah, they are. Like John, all those sides.
Yeah, get another receiver. Do you even get another receiver?
No. No. Dude, you take 2 linemen before you get a receiver.
Yeah. And like maybe a linebacker, like just defense, like
fill some holes.
Quarterback. Yeah, fill holes because you can draft a receiver like 2nd and 3rd round. It shows Michael Pittman, dude.
I mean,
Devontae Adams, like
Lockett, like
so many people.
Most
DK Metcalf, 2nd round.
Yeah, dude. I remember DK off top, but DK after his. For like bench setting new receivers, people like top 10 pick,
and then there's like he has a back.
He went at he has a back injury. He went at like 40 something.
Dude, it was ridiculous. I was like, how?
And he's better than like you do a redraft and you're drafting Metcalf like what 8 or 9 overall. Like if like how performance wise,
literally
he's a top 10 pick. But should we go to the game of the week? We're too early. I don't know what else to say.
I don't know. I just like Philadelphia. You have something to look forward to this offseason.
That game and the Steelers-Chiefs game, quite honestly, was like I said, the equivalent of 2 first-round buys.
Yeah,
there was no reason to play that. And the only thing that came out of either one of those was injuries.
Yeah. Yes. Game of the week: 49ers 23, Dallas 17.
This is going to be a tough. Frauds. We've been saying it. We've been saying this for weeks. I just want to say.
We told you, motherfucker.
I hate the Cowboys. I told you. Like, that's ridiculous.
Dude, oh my.
They only beat bad teams. Like, literally.
6-0 in your own division because they all are ass, dude.
They're literally, like, it's quite honestly one of the more poverty franchises. Like, you can't just only beat bad teams and expect this will. So, here's a meme for you. It's like a big cycle. It goes Cowboys, Season starts. Beat bad teams. Fans get delusional. Quote, "We the boys, this our year." Choke first round of the playoffs. Repeat.
Dude,
is that not
11
fact?
straight
Times they made the playoffs without reaching a conference game.
Yeah.
That is the longest streak in the history of the NFL.
ridiculous.
Makes no sense.
And there's so much stories where it's filling in my brain right now where I don't know where to start. I really don't know totally where to start.
Let's start from like the game.
Yeah, just the
game itself. Of the Niners being dominant and basically the Cowboys coming
Oh yeah,
back.
I was mistaken. Dallas isn't the third most penalized team. They entered as the most penalized team at home, giving up that many penalties. That is I'm looking up how many penalties because it was like I think 14 or 15 by themselves. How do you have false starts and neutral infractions at home? At home, like how? Like, it doesn't make any sense. That shouldn't happen.
I mean, I don't know. Do we just jump in? I think most people watched this game. It was the game of the week. So
it was
a midday game.
We all knew 49ers is the complete opposite of Dallas Cowboys, where
they're a legit team.
They're not even legit. They're such the most disciplined team. It's the most disciplined team versus the most undisciplined
team, and it's also like the Cowboys' 12-5 record shows how good they are, and I think the Niners' 10-7 doesn't show how good that team is.
Yeah, 14 penalties, 89 yards. That's not good.
Yeah, I just want to bring up real quick before we get into all these nuts stories. Deebo Samuel had 3 catches, 38 yards, 10 rushes, 72 yards. Like, we've never seen a player. We've seen defensive players and defensive ends turn into outside linebacker hybrids, and safeties like like Jamal Adams turn into linebackers, and Micah Parsons played D-end, linebacker, safety. But we've never in my lifetime at least, we've never seen someone
so diverse
go out there and be able to beat your corner and come back in and rush for 7.
He eliminated basically George Kittle the entire game. George Kittle only had one catch.
The scary part to me though is what they can do opening up George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk with Deebo.
Brandon Ayuk looked all awesome.
He looked
It looked like people were like, oh, he's a bust in fantasy football.
He was. I mean, for all you Cowboys fans, he was literally torching the dude that you literally think is the best defensive player. He was Trayvon Diggs looked like a high school kid guarding a superstar. That was quite honestly a joke.
That shit was lame, yeah. And Deebo Samuel barely even played wide receiver. He literally was running back.
He was running back for the majority of the game. And part of him being running back that was on pass plays, dude, if he even hesitates to block, someone has to stay there.
Yeah.
Someone has to stay because if he's blocking and then he starts to
it's just such a well-coached team.
It's so good. It's
so well-coached. Kyle Shanahan is ridiculous. Is just ridiculous.
And Jimmy Garoppolo threw 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, he did.
He only had a pick, and the pick is what set the Cowboys up to have an opportunity to make this a game.
It was their game. They just milked the clock. Milked the clock. It was insane. And
all right, I think
let's
talk about.
do it? So,
all right, wait. Let's just jump in.
Yeah.
Paint the picture.
So somehow
14 seconds.
Somehow 49ers they have the punt. That was absurd. That was way too much commercial.
Way too much commercial break. That was 5 minutes
know what to do.
Plays.
They literally didn't know. Back to the refs. They literally were talking for 5 minutes. What happened?
Again, that's when someone from up top needs to say we can't have a gap this big.
This is stalling the game flow.
Oh my God, it's actually.
They told us about ball boys. When we're ball boys,
dude,
don't mess up the game flow.
They're literally we've done ball boys for our school.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, the only thing you can do as ball boy to mess up is spike the ball and make the refs stop her.
Yeah.
But
you're the most
if the refs are But the refs, I mean, I think McAfee said it wonderfully today that there is no such thing as no kid we both would like to work in sports in one way or another, specifically in football if nothing changes. Yes. My dreams of being a ref are zero. I did basketball refereeing. I enjoyed it. I did it with 7th and 8th graders when I was a junior in high school. So I know quite honestly too much to not do that right. No one wakes up and says, "Oh, I'd love to be an NFL referee."
They have to bump up salary.
They need to bump up salary, and then I also think, and it was a great example. And I'm sorry I can't remember who it said, but I listen to a lot of sports shows. But they were talking about they need to pay these dudes in the offseason to attend film studies, referee camps, like have like set up a
seriously got to be like a
off-season program.
Because after like off-season, like they do their own thing. It's not like a real committee thing.
As they said, a lot of guys like some guys
their
go
own
back and
NFL.
Do a handful of high school games, but like you're not keeping anything up to date doing a high school game. Like that's for fun. So
but yeah, so somehow so 49ers somehow didn't get the first down. They punt.
Yep.
Cowboys are just rolling. It is like 16 seconds left.
14.
Yeah, 14 seconds left. Like 2nd and 2. They're almost in field goal range.
And to paint more,
but they need a touchdown.
And to paint more of a picture, the Niners are running a prevent defense, meaning they're allowing things underneath.
Yeah.
So
they don't want anything on the outside.
On the outsides, and then the Niners switch into this gnarly, like never seen before. 4 dudes in the box, 6, so 3 and 3 on either sideline.
Yeah.
And then just 2 deep safeties, and they're basically like, one of our 2 safeties is going to tackle you if you do it inbound. So the logic was, run the ball.
Yeah. So it was on San Francisco's 41.
Yep.
Dak Prescott runs up the middle. It was literally supposed to be drawn up as a QB draw. QB draw for 17 yards to the 24, and it just doesn't make sense. You need the whole entire offensive line to go up, and then and the center was trying to obviously after every play the ref has to grab the ball and
he
recenter.
has to touch it. So
that's why touch it and recenter it.
We said we wanted to have this full conversation on air because we wanted to have a little discussion. But I think that I don't even know if this is right, but personally, if he decides he slid at like the 20 or the whatever the heck, if he decided to slide at let's just see, he slides at the 25. If he slides at the 30, they're spiking that ball with 4 seconds.
Yeah.
4 seconds, maybe 5, because he slides with 9 seconds. You could be set in 5 seconds.
I'm watching the video. Yeah, he's crawling up. He's trying to give it to the. They're just trying to hike it right there. And he goes, let me try to wrap around. Runs into the ref, and they're like, oh, it's the ref's fault.
It's the ref's fault.
No, he needs to go recenter it.
And that's
the center can't just go place it wherever you want.
This ties my Raiders conversation into where it's like you guys can talk all you want, but with this, it's. Dak and the center both have to know I don't know. I can't remember the center off the top of my head, but have to know I think Dak's fair to say he's a veteran now. He's not a young guy. He's not on a rookie contract. Someone has to touch the ball. They have to. The spike. That's why you see like the announcers were getting upset and they were saying you have to channel your inner Larry Fitzgerald and pick the ball up and look for the closest ref. Not set the ball down and have your center have it in his hand.
Yeah.
Give it. Dak set the ball. He set the ball as if he was picking what yard line that he slid on.
It was ridiculous. And people the press conference, how they're saying they're throwing food, and Dak Prescott was like, well, we do everything for the fans, which was respect. But then they're like, no, they're throwing out the refs. He goes, oh, go them.
And his whole mood changed.
Yeah, I was like, okay, dude.
I think go them. It's a little out of context when you listen to the whole minute, but it is a quote from him basically saying, go them.
They
that shit made me mad. But
no, buddy, you don't do that.
You don't do that. And little going off. First of all, you're not America's team. You're a joke. First of all, Cowboys, you're a joke. The entire Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know how that still lingers with them. It's been 30 years. It's been 30 years since they won a goddamn playoff game.
Win a freaking playoff game, but it's to me, and what sticks with me is it's so frustrating. The fans are, and I know it's the worst fan base in sports, and I don't care about in this country's sports, the worst fan base. But there's a difference between being a bad fan base and being passionate and talking shit and acting like you're gonna win. You're in the Super Bowl. But I'll say that when the Seahawks go 4-1 to start the year, they didn't this year. But there's a difference between that and throwing things at the people that you paid to go see, and throwing things at the coaches who coach that team. It honestly made my blood boil. I was like, whoa, dude, what?
They're doing the physical aspect.
Yes.
We're just watching.
We're
being entertained.
You were a spectator. You were a fan.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous
to have more class.
That franchise quarterback that took a franchise quarterback to hear that one bottle got thrown at a referee to take back his quote about how you whatever the stupid quote was. But I think Dak handled that very immaturely by not. I think when he heard that he should have been like, as disappointing from our fans, we worked our tails off, and I don't call the plays.
Yeah, and then also like an hour before the game kicked off, there was a report saying that if they have a short playoff, they're gonna can McCarthy. I was like, oh man, I'm really happy I hammered 49ers plus 3. This is already coming out
from the inside.
I mean, I already knew
well, yeah.
Jerry Jones never really liked Mike McCarthy, and executive from the Cowboys.
Why did he hire him as a coach then?
Yeah.
Why? He's the one who made that decision. He's the GM. He's the operations football manager. He has all of those positions.
I feel,
or someone in the Jones family.
Because executive came out like, yeah, we're gonna keep Mike McCarthy, for next year. But I'm like, dude, Jerry Jones is just waiting for a screw up.
He's waiting for him to
old Yeller Mike McCarthy, and people are like, oh, this might hurt. Kellen Moore's head coach job. It's like, no, that's the thing. Kellen Moore's not going anywhere. He's going to be the Dallas head coach in either this year or next year. He's going to be.
He honestly, man, would be smarter to stick around and see what happens.
Yeah, because you're going to get so much money.
Yeah.
Like, no other team's going to give you as much money as Jerry Jones.
And if Kellen Moore decides to take one of these coaching jobs he's been interviewing for, I still think the best decision is you fire McCarthy, make Dan Quinn your head coach. I know that he's better as a defensive coach, but if you're bringing in a new offensive coordinator, let him handle the offense, you handle the defense, and kind of have this be a joint situation where you don't want Dan or Kellen to leave. But
I feel like in the next 2 years or this offseason, I think Kellen Moore is going to become that head coach, because I feel like there had been something with.
And letting him leave is not the right situation.
No.
I can't get over the fan base, though, and how disgraceful it is to throw things at your own players. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence had to put his helmet up to block a plastic bottle dropping.
And speaking of another Cowboys player, Zeke, only 31 yards. 31 yards.
Carries.
Just paying him that much money? I'm sorry, dude.
Get out.
I know it's a hard defense.
It is a hard defense to rush against, but
he doesn't look explosive whatsoever.
He looks like, to me, he's like, out of the 32 starters and some guys that kind of split back downs, I would say he fits about 18 to 20. I'm dead serious.
That being said, I think he's gonna get. I think they're gonna try to trade him, because they're in cap hell. They're in the next couple of years gonna have to trade.
Something has to be done.
Sign CeeDee Lamb, and then it's Micah Parsons with Trayvon Diggs, and then obviously Leighton Vander Esch and DeMarcus Lawrence. You just have too many players,
and you can't let even a third of those dudes walk.
No.
Almost 2/3 of those dudes are gonna have to stay.
Yeah. So it's just, you're gonna be you're already in cap hell. It's just.
It's only getting worse, because these young guys are only going to ask for money.
Yeah, as you guys keep drafting stars, you guys can't make it out of the
They draft really good.
Yeah, they do.
Whoever's drafting is not Jerry Jones, I'll tell
you. But I'm already spitting this out there. There's definitely a team is still in need of a running back, and we just talked about them. I think Buffalo Bills might go after Zeke.
I think it's fair to say, too.
I think that's
and I think that
perfect.
I'm not giving predictions for next week, but I think if and when they don't win the Super Bowl, that's what Buffalo. I'm not going to say anything other than that, but when they don't win the Super Bowl, I think they have to look at the team and go, offense check, defense check, special teams check, coaching check, where's our good running back? Devin Singletary is good, but where's our power back?
Premier.
A big dude, 6 foot 230, like Ezekiel Elliott, not a 5'7", 180.
No. You need just
Devin Singletary.
You guys as big as Josh Allen. Come on.
Seriously, you need them pretty. Yeah.
Just to help out Josh Allen, it would just be ridiculous. But I just don't think Zeke's gonna stay. I think they leave him, re-sign Pollard for less money. And then
I think that's the most ideal situation. Is you sign Pollard to
because he's explosive,
a team friendly.
He's so explosive.
Yeah.
But man, Cowboys, have a fun offseason, dude. Goodbye, you're frauds. But geez, 49ers go play the Green Bay. I'm so scared. I'm petrified. That's the one team.
It's the one team you didn't want to run into.
I was like, hopefully we don't. I was like, I think they're gonna be Dallas, but I feel like then we're gonna have to play them.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm not ready. But go back, go. But yeah, let's go on to then, I guess, one last game. Pittsburgh 21, Kansas City 42. Boy, dude.
It was a beatdown, my guy.
Bad.
Remember when I said when we were sitting here that Mahomes had 404 yards, he needed 101 yards to beat the record? He never threw a pass after that.
No.
So, I mean, they quite honestly just started pounding the rock and doing anything they could. Travis Kelce threw a touchdown.
Again, it just didn't feel like a real playoff game.
It's the same feeling that Eagles game had. It felt like that
was a joke. It was straight up a joke.
It was like, this is the joke bye week.
Yeah.
You still have to play. It's a joke. Like
it was. Big Ben looked miserable.
I mean, Mahomes could have had 525 yards and 7 touchdowns if they kept.
They got so bored. They're like, Travis Kelce, how about you go throw a touchdown?
I mean, to paint the picture, it's Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes motions out, and Byron Pringle, I think is his first name, runs a slant route, and Kelce throws a dart. And even the fact that Kelce read options, pulls, throws. Like,
Dude, it was ridiculous.
It's so funny because there was no need to bust a play out like that when you were up 35.
No,
it was just literally
for fun.
I mean, Travis Kelce threw a pass to a receiver. Mahomes threw a pass to a running back. A running back, receiver, and then what's his face? Who's that? Is it right guard or right tackle? Right guard.
Mm-hmm.
Also caught a touchdown pass.
Yes.
So tight end, running back, receiver, guard.
Dude. It was just
every eligible person.
It didn't. This was like the dominant Chiefs, what we've been expecting like all year.
Mm-hmm.
It just like once it came playoff time, I'm like, all right, we're not joking around.
Chiefs and Bills. That's all I've said is Chiefs and Bills turned on a switch. They play this week, which is immaculate.
This is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be such a good week.
Yeah, and like Travis Kelce, 5 receptions, 108 yards and a touchdown. Jerick McKinnon, dude, he was their premier running back with 12 carries and 61 yards.
And then
he had 86 receptions for 81 receiving yards.
Yeah, and a touchdown. Like,
dude, he's electrifying, and I love playing him in Madden, dude.
So
like when I get my first Ultimate Team, I'm like, let's get Jared.
Let's get the highest overall McKinnon card.
Yeah, easy.
It's crazy though, because this dude's been in the league for 7 years now, going on 8. He's like a 4th round pick. He's a small dude from Georgia Southern. Like, it's just so funny because like he was kind of like Pringle, and I mean a lot of those dudes where you're like, where did you come from?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Usually I don't like the single number for all the position players, but like he looks so sick.
It looks pretty cool in the back.
I was like, okay, he looks so fast. When I'm like, he's about to go for like an 80-yard touchdown, like untouched. But I mean, what about the Steelers, dude? I don't even know. Like,
we're gonna have whole episodes about what teams should do in the offseason as they do it.
Yeah, but so much drops. Juju Smith-Schuster came back, but dude, so many drops.
The whole.
Oh, it was bad. It was just bad football. I mean, literally, T.J. Watt was carrying him. He had his first ever career touchdown.
Yeah.
Like that gave me a little hope. I was like, oh, this is so fun. This is so fun.
He ties the sack record, and then.
Man, yeah. It's just. I don't know.
It's the second bye week. There's that game. There's not. I don't want to.
They weren't supposed. Big Ben was so right. He was so right.
Like, we're quoting about when he said, of the 14 teams here, I think we're 14th. I don't think we have a chance to win.
Yeah, Steelers literally 9-7-1.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be in the playoffs.
They got in there because of the.
They tied with the Lions, dude. The Lions are actually so good.
So good. I actually they might we'll do preseason predictions next year, but they're a team that I'm gonna have an absolute they might triple.
Unless if Jared Goff's still the quarterback.
No, if Jared Goff's still the quarterback, I don't care.
I think they're gonna go 8.
Well, I think they'll go. I'll go 8. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like triple their wins though. Go from 3 to 9. So,
respect.
Before we wrap up, I just want to. Is there anything else you want to talk Steelers or no?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Such a quick games, but yeah, dude. I wish the 7th seed just wasn't a real thing. And Big Ben, congrats on a great career.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, but
the last few years have not been pretty, dude.
No, he should have retired last year. I wish I got to see another crying video. Crying pictures, big fat face in the helmet. You can't. His cheeks are swelling too much. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's school night. We gotta go to bed.
Yeah,
soon,
we gotta
guys.
go to bed soon. It's 10:00. We gotta be up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, gosh.
No, so saying that we're gonna have a super fun episode later this week, and then because
predictions.
there's getting to be less games, we're gonna throw in a UFC 270. The main event is this weekend, so
And
we're gonna
talk
throw
about
that in there.
some basketball.
Talk about some basketball in there, and
Yeah, we'll see how as teams dwindle down, we'll get more creative and figuring out what to talk more about. But other than that,
for now, there's next week is so big though that
yeah.
there won't be any lack of games. Divisional round is always amazing, and just 4 great games. So
Yes. So yeah, next episode will be Friday morning. So everyone, hopefully you enjoyed listening or watching on YouTube, and please subscribe and share with your friends. And have a great day.
thank you.